They are indeed fun to watch. So, we are in the game. Let's introduce these two players. Spawning in the bottom right position, the green Zerg player from Team Dignitas. It is Tefel. And his opponent spawning in the top left, we have got the yellow Zerg. Oh no, I've done this the wrong way around completely. In the bottom right, we have Miniraser. I'm just going to start this back over. Look, okay, anyway, in the top left, we have got, of course, Tefel. That couldn't have gone much worse, really. I'm going to be honest with you. It's because I've had to take over observing this game and casting, and apparently I cannot tell the difference between yellow and green.
I don't know why I find it so funny, but all the people trolling, talking about how you never move, I don't know why I find that so funny, but every time someone makes a joke about how you just are completely still, it just makes me laugh. I don't know why. It's not that funny, but
it is. I find it highly amusing. But of course, my webcam was working for about the first hour and a half, and then it decided to die, which was rather unfortunate because now, of course, you're sitting there having to look pretty on stream all on your own, Zoya. While I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Well, look at every casting combo out there. They have a balance of how good they look as a pair. You will always see a good-looking caster paired with an ugly caster, and because I'm up here showing my ugly mug to all 10,000 of these viewers, I don't have the sexy to balance me out right now. So you're actually throwing off our groove right now, and I hope you're happy.
I'm not happy. I'm very sad about it, I must be honest. But what I am happy about is both these players are getting down their spawning pools. They are also both getting down a gas at very similar times. Or actually, no, Tefel is yet to start his gas. It should be a hatchery out for him. And this is now just very standard builds. It just means the Miniraser will have his speed out slightly quicker, his banelings out slightly quicker, and his hatchery fractionally later. But nothing too disastrous, nothing too crazy happening as of yet. And the big question, Zoya, is are you expecting this to be once again another Ling Bling passive phase into a rush up to Mutalisks?
There's going to be aggression on Miniraser's end, probably, but yeah, it's going to be Ling Bling into Mutalisk. That's just how it's going to be. That's CVZ right now. It's unfortunate. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You know, some Muta fights can be exciting. We'll just, you know, there's just a lot of downtime where you're waiting for the action to pick up.
Now, the important thing is we did just see the Tefel ran in with the Overlord, saw the hatchery coming down. He's relatively happy with what he's seen. He didn't actually get a scout on the gas, and what I'm really keeping an eye out for is whether Miniraser pulls the drones at 100 gas or keeps mining. And he is currently pulling them out. That means he's going to get precisely enough for speed, leaving one drone remaining in gas. That's a really subtlety that you have to look out for because it says a lot about when the banelings will be coming down and when, of course, you have to be more concerned about that. But the other thing that this opens up potentially with such a quick speed is a very aggressive style of play out of Miniraser, using a lot of speedlings to poke in and try and deal some damage. And that's something that if it does come out, Tefel really needs to identify quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to speed considerably faster. We'll have to see how much damage he can do. We'll have to see. I don't expect him to make too many lings, maybe like 8 to 10, and just kind of pick off a drone or two with that, catch his opponent off guard, and then he'll transition straight into lair. If we look at his gas, he is still only got the one guy mining in it. He's got his first queen or second queen about to pop out. Income tab shows 25 to 21 in favor of Tefel. That just shows you he's a little bit of a quicker hatchery is helping him boost his economy just slightly, but he's only barely ahead.
He is only barely ahead. The one difference that we did just see there was Miniraser has gone back up to 3 drones in gas, whereas Tefel still remaining on 1. Great scout out from these two lings coming into the main base for Miniraser at the moment, so he's getting a good little look at what is on the field, what is coming out, what could be occurring in the near future, but we'll be relatively relieved to see that not too much. Will he spot the Baning Nest that's about to morph? No, it's not. It's actually going to be a Spine Crawler, so that was not what I was expecting, but it does mean, though, however, the Baning Nest is coming down, but just in the main base for Tefel. Having said that, Miniraser's own Baning Nest is far ahead of that, so we are in the Ling Bling phase of the game now. Nothing too scary going on at the moment.
Yeah, this is a pretty normal play here. Again, you point out the Spine Crawler from Tefel, which shows to a more defensive play. And there we go, we're seeing that first round of lings for Miniraser, so he will be putting on some aggression. Well, I mean, I think it's just going to be this one round of lings. It would be weird if he sent another one and tried to bust his opponent. But there are lings on the way for Tefel, so it's all going to come down to those Bailey connects. The one Spine Crawler is going to help him out a lot, the defending queens. I don't know if this is going to work for Miniraser. It's a little bit of a light aggression, but
It's still quite a lot of Zerglings, let's face it. There's 14 out on the field already. There's the 2 Banelings. 1 Baneling gets sniped off relatively quickly. 2 more are in production, though. Meanwhile, Tefel's got 4 Banelings morphing as we speak. This is all going to come down to the Ling Bling engagements. And if they're good, then obviously it will be great for whoever player gets the better connections. But as we see now, we've got the Banelings waddling forward. 4 Banelings there for Tefel. 2 Banelings do kill Banelings, so you need to send them in pairs. But in comes the Zerglings round the back of the mineral line. Of course, big connections on the drones could be a problem, but not many drones get taken out there. That did not do as much damage as I believe Miniraser would have wanted. He killed 5 workers so far, and really Miniraser just streaming straight into the main base. Is he going to focus a queen or drones? Most likely drones now, trying to do any damage he can to make this a more justified attack. It's so important that he manages to do that.
Income tab is 39 to 42, slightly in favor of Tefel. He also got his lair later than Miniraser, so he has the drone lead, but the Spire will be out much quicker from Miniraser. We'll have to see. I mean, I think Miniraser, after that aggression, even though he only got a few lanes, is in the advantage right now. It just depends on the third base. We see Tefel's already started his. Let's see when Miniraser gets his, which is going to be right now, and if he can hold it.
Yeah, both these players teching up to their third bases. Both players have their lair down. We see Miniraser just starting his Spire up, so he's ahead of that of Tefel. And this is really important, this Spire. Of course, Muta on Muta is such a cornerstone of the current metagame of ZVZ. It's really important. But we also see Miniraser running across with a couple of speedlings, going to try and force a cancel on this third base, but there's a lot of Banelings out at the moment for Tefel. He's got a good number of Zerglings there as well. He shouldn't have any problems defending this and making sure his hatchery stays up. Oh, 1 Baneling goes off on a single Zergling. That's always a good trade for the Zergling, but now, of course, there's still too many Zerglings out for Tefel for Miniraser to really be pushing into this. But he's going to try to. He's going to just get a nice little run round, gets the confirmation that the third hatch is down. Meanwhile, we see that the Spire already half done for Miniraser before it has even started for Tefel, because he's going for an infestation pit.
That's, I think he feels he's going to be behind on Milos, so he's going to go for Infestors, which is cool. I mean, it's hard to catch. If you're behind when it comes to the Milos, it's near impossible to catch up. I do want to point out something that some Zergs are starting to do that all Zergs need to start doing. If you build a defensive Spinecrawler at your natural base, move an Overlord to your third. As we look at Tefel's third base, he put an Overlord there. Before his hatchery was done, he had already burrowed a Spinecrawler to help defend it. That's something that all Zergs need to start doing if they have a pre-built Spinecrawler. Is send one over to the third base and help you secure it just a little bit easier.
You can even, if you've got your lair down, use the Overlord to generate creep in order to burrow.
That's what he did. That's what you have to do.
Yep. It's a really nice way to go, and it just means that you are safe from a little bit of pushing. But now we've got Miniraser with 11 Mutalisks coming down. The +1 Flyer, Carapace, 6 Infestors though, and Pathogen Glands nearly completed for Tefel. This is a much more unusual strategy and means that we are not going to be getting Muta on Muta in this ZVZ, at least for the time being. Tefel also starting up his Rotron and +1 missile attack.
You have to keep in mind that, I mean, you pointed out earlier today in the cast, it's been a long day of casting, that Infestors, or Mutalisks, they have the regeneration now. So if you're going to catch Mutalisks with fungal growth, keep in mind that, yes, energy is free, but you do have a limited amount of it when you first use it. So you have to catch the Mutalisks, keep them caught until they die, or they're going to fly away for a few minutes and be back with full HP.
And that's actually why I love the fact that Tefel is getting his Hydra Den down now as well, because if you lock down those Mutalisks, Hydras will rip them to shreds, and it really allows you to take them out quite quickly. But in we come now with this Hydra Flock. The Infestors have been spotted. Will the Fungal Growth go down in time? The answer, not yet. There's one Fungal Growth. Doesn't catch as many Mutas as you would want. A couple of Infested Terrans being used, more Fungals being executed, but as we can see, these Mutas just tearing apart all of these Infestors, and just as we were saying, the problem is if you don't kill these Mutalisks, they can just fly away and regenerate their health.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that there's potential for fungal growth, but with the nice splitting on Miniraser's end, ooh, that's a good fungal growth there, but it's not going to kill off any of them. There's not enough energy for him to lock them in position. These guys are just going to heal up. That was a lot of Infestors that went down, and that, I mean, look at the units lost tab. Most of that resources lost is from the Infestors.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge, and these Mutas have been controlled really nicely so far. Already up to 15 on the field. They do have +1 Flyer Carapace, but a lot of Hydralisks are starting to hit the field now for Tefel, and if he's able to get underneath the Mutas, he will rip them apart. But behind this, Miniraser taking his fourth base, making sure that he's expanding nicely. He's getting his own infestation pit up, as well as Baning Speed and the 1/1 ground upgrades.
You know, we look at the supply right now. Tefel's got a nice lead. Roaches and Hydras are a good amount of supply. They're much cheaper than you know. It's much cheaper to max out with Ling Muta. or with Roach Hider than it is with Wing Muta. It's much more difficult to hit max with the injects, but Mutas do fly into the main base. There's a lot of Mutas here. Nice spread on them. I'm going to try and avoid the fungal growth. I don't think there's any fungals actually here. There's 2 infestors. Neither of them have enough energy for the fungal growth. So just, darting in, being annoying. Right now, like you said, he's taking his 4th base. He's waiting to contain his opponent back home while he gets his economy up. He needs to get Baneling speed, which is halfway done. If he can get connects with the Hydras, then the Mutas will clean everything up. It all comes down to the fungal growths. Will be on the Banelings and stop them from that? Wow, this is actually a huge push from Tefel. This is like a really good timing from him.
It is a really nice timing from him. He has got a huge amount of supply. The Mutas are starting to ransack the main base, though we see the Spore Crawlers getting focused down near instantly. The Queen desperately trying to transfuse, but will get taken out. Most of the drones in the main base of Tefel are going to go down, and this is a big problem. But however, the counterattack is still coming in, and there is a lot of units here for Tefel. Roach, Hydra, Infestor is a great competition in head-on fights, and that means the Miniraser being forced to make a lot of Spine Crawlers ASAP in order to try and hold this off. But will there be enough damage? That's where we go away and see. One Infestor getting a bit lost here. Meanwhile, Mutas are destroying so many drones in the natural base of Tefel. This is just a complete counter-aggression on both sides.
Yeah, it's a base race right now. I like how you pointed out that in a straight-up fight, Roach Hydra will win. In all honesty, if it comes to like an engagement, the most powerful composition that a Zerg player can have in this game, if you're maxed out with max upgrades, it's going to be Roach Hydra Infestor. It's just going to be better than the Ling Baneling Muta. But it was a nice run by from Miniraser. He's going from the base race. Drones are being pulled to attack these Lings. Tefel, he's sending back his Hydras and Infestors. If the Lings can get us around on these, even the Lings have actually almost been all cleaned up from Miniraser. I think Tefel has this game.
Yeah, he's in a really nice spot at the moment, and obviously the Lings are getting forced back. The Mutas are going to try and do some more damage. Once these Infestors and Hydras get over, one big fungal growth, and suddenly that Muta count will drop to 0 quicker than you have ever seen, because the Hydra will do so much damage. One fungal goes off, traps quite a lot, and this is where the Hydras start going to town, absolutely destroying that Mutalisk count. And of course, the 3rd base has been taken out, meaning Tefel has 0 mining bases. He also does not have enough money to remake it, but he is busy destroying the main of Miniraser. This game is getting pretty damn funky, Zoya.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's no hatcheries for our Zerg player Tefel. He has no money to rebuild a hatchery. So this is as all in as it gets. Let's look at the units tab, though. There are 18 Mutas still on the field, plenty of drones. There's still 900 minerals being mined. The 3rd base is untouched. There's actually a Muta sitting there. That would be really helpful in Miniraser's army. If somehow Miniraser can get Lings across the map and help win this base race, there's still a chance. There's enough for a few. One extractor is all Tefel can build right now, and the remaining buildings he has.
The other big problem as well, of course, for Miniraser is that he doesn't really have enough money to make much. He can make a couple more Mutalisks, but in the head-on engagement against these Hydras, he's going to have so much problem. The Hydras are coming into the 3rd base. We see the spawning pool has been rebuilt, but all of the drones desperately trying to get out, and Tefel just actually using his own drones to try and deal with this, because ultimately he can't remake the hatcheries, may as well just bring them to fight. The Hydras destroying this 3rd, going to knock out the Extractors. Meanwhile, we see the Mutalisks trying to go for the base race, because they know they can't engage head-on, because a couple of good fungal growths plus Hydras will just see them absolutely slaughtered. But there is one hidden mining base that Tefel does not yet know about, and that is to the right. And what really needs to happen now is that if Miniraser can keep that up while taking these additional expansions along the right-hand side, maybe he can buy himself some time, but he's got no money, he's got no production in terms of the facilities he's got out. He has a Spire, but not enough gas to actually make any Mutas. That means that his entire army is those 25 Mutalisks on the field. The 2 Infestors, I cannot emphasize enough how important the fungal growths are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, when it's straight up fight, Tefel will win. We'll have to see. It's going to come down to this last extractor. There's no way Tefel is going to clean up all of Miniraser's hatcheries he's got spread across the map. And the problem is that Tefel's Roach Hydra Infestor army is moving towards the hatchery, so he can't defend this last extractor. If he was sitting here with his Roaches and Infestors and Hydras, got fungal growths before they were in range of the extractor, and cleared them up, he could win. But this is it. There are no Hydras here at all. They are across the map. I really wish you would have defended this last extractor, because once these videos get this is it. This is GG. This is the last building. Look at the press T for the structures tab. This is it.
This is it, and there is the game over.
I built that up horribly. That was like an anticlimactic final building.